All right, hello, wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of April, and just a couple of wine drinking events this week. We got a slow week here, but we're back on track next week. We got like 3 or 4 events coming up the next couple of weeks to finish up the month of April, and we've got incredible tasting with Valentini's Wines, one of my favorite producers in the world, on April 27th to end the month. But hey, we have got some vintage Italian wines to sell you today. It's amazing the stash of old vintage wines we have here in the store. Occasionally, I just look through the shelf and say, man, we have got to let our wine drinking people know about these 95 vintage Tuscan wines. And 1995, got, the Flaccianello, the wine of the night, at one of our recent tastings here with the Hollywood Wine Society group, the wine tasting we just recently did in the store with them. We got some notes on that on this offer. I think it was one of the wines of the night. This is a wine that was built for aging when it was released, and today at 17 years of age, if you were born in 1995, you're just about getting ready to drink in terms of legally. So, hey, if you have kids that were born in 1995, you can still buy them wines from their birth year to share with them at their wedding and at some other special occasion in the future. I know I stocked up on 2003 and 2004 vintage years, both the years my kids were born in large formats and other things, just to have some fun stuff at special moments in their life. And 95, still a vintage that's got quite a bit of life ahead of it at a meager 17 years of age. Let me think what was going on in 1995 in my life. I was working at Cafe Max as the wine guy. Lenina gave us the busiest hurricane season ever in 65 years at least. David Letterman hosted the Oscars with that famous Oprah joke that didn't work, okay? And let's see, Yahoo was founded. eBay was founded. God, it was just a few years ago, eBay was founded. The OJ trials began, and hey, man, it was a pretty good year other than that in the vineyard wine world. Really outstanding year in Tuscany, probably one of the best areas in the wine world in Europe. Tuscany, we have got an incredible selection of wines from Brunello di Montalcino. This was a 5-star vintage. Many people look at 97 in the 90s and say that was the greatest vintage, but there was only a 4-star vintage according to the Gambero Rosso. Other 5-star vintages, the legendary 75, 82, 85, 88, 90. Some outstanding vintages just recently, the 2007, 2006, 2004, outstanding vintages. But to get one that's ready to drink, Brunello needs, after it's released 5 years after the vintage, it's a really long time anyways, 10 or 15 years after that to reach its peak of maturity, and these wines from 95 are peaking, plateauing. We've got Canalicchio de Sopra and the Reserva, which they only make a few hundred cases of this Reserva. We have got it on this offering for a little more than the price of the current release. Flaccianello, I think it's just $10 more for this 95 than the 2006 vintage. We'll check it out, those and all the other things from 1995 vintage Tuscany on this offering. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.